Good evening. My name is Joni Rainey. I'm chair of the Twiggs County Board of Education, and we are here this evening for a budget meeting, for a stakeholder meeting regarding our budget. This is our final budget hearing before the recommendation for approval for our budget for FY fiscal year 2021. Tonight at our meeting, we have myself, of course, Joni Rainey. We have our board member, Ms. Teresa Blackshear. We have board member, Mr. Jacquez Harris. And we have our chief financial officer, Mr. James Austin, and we have our technology director, Mr. Trevante Basley. We are looking for our other two board members, Mr. Isaiah Rouse and Ms. Shirley Stokes, to sign on momentarily. And we're looking for our superintendent, Mr. Elgin Dixon, to sign on as well. But what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Austin, and then Mr. Basley, if we have anyone that can call in, do they have a number that they can call in, or they can ask any questions if we have any stakeholders watching to ask any questions regarding our budgets?
All right. Thank you, Board Chair. Good evening, Board Chair, board members in their absence, Superintendent Dixon, and constituent of the community. So the last board meeting we had was contained the first public hearing. And from that date, we have not made any changes to the budget. Everything stands as it is. And so we have met all instruction needs of our students in this new normal that we have. We also made sure that the boys and girls and our staff are very safe. We've allocated funds for that as well. Technology needs, operation needs for each department has been maintained. Again, there has been no furloughs or reduced calendar models. So all our teachers have a 109-day calendar. Our full-time 12-month staff has their calendar as well, and 11-month staff. So we saw no reduction across the board. We did not have a tax millage rate increase. No increase passed on to these tax holders of Twiggs County. So with that being said, Mr. Basley, if you can bring up the budget just so we can have it for review. And if there are any questions or concerns about it, I'll be happy to answer those at this time.
And Mr. Basley, if we have any of our stakeholders who have any questions, how are they contacting us?
They have a number that's on top of the screen right now that they can call in.
Okay, thank you for that. Mr. Austin, could you just give us a brief rundown of our budget, please?
Yes, so what we have before us is our general budget and also some of our federal programs. And we have, of course, seen the 17% reduction in our state QBE. That has been reflected at $3.3 million. Our local taxes, and this is because the value of the property has grown in Twiggs County historically. So we had the ability to have more money allocated because of that reason, and maintain our current millage rate. So that's always a good thing. So, and that actually helped offset some of the deficit that we had. So it's always good to be able to have resources locally to help and assist in that aspect. So as we look through the budget, of course, we still have the same elements for instruction, student services, improvement instruction, media services, and all the functions that we're legally obligated to show. And we do have a balanced budget. So we was able to do that in COVID. So it was a challenge, but with all our constituents and department heads, they've done a great job of providing all the information that was needed to ensure we did that. Now, I do want to point out that we do have debt service obligations for our bond, and that's $278,974 that we're looking to pay that out of SPLOST. So as we go forward to Title I, Title II, the director for the program will come their own way once they receive the allocation from the state. And once that amount is received, then they will come forth with a presentation outlining what those true numbers are. But it is an estimate from what we had based upon last year. So we always like to present that to ensure that you're in the know that those funds are being used to assist us in educating the boys and girls and keeping them safe in Twiggs County Public Schools. Our fund balance did increase as it has historically. So right now, at the fund end of FY19, $1,083,727. And that has been very instrumental in keeping us afloat. And I believe, and I do know that that's one of the major reasons we was able to do a lot of things as far as not reducing the calendar and also maintaining the current millage rate. So that work has not been in vain. So we was able to say that we have a strong, healthy budget this year. And we're just very excited about the administration and the work that we do with the numbers they've provided.
And as the Board of Education, it is our duty to, and our requirement to have 2 public hearings regarding the budget each year. And we had the first budget meeting on August the 18th. And we've had the second budget meeting today. And today we have on our called board meeting the agenda to, with the request or the recommendation to approve this budget as it stands. So if anyone calls in, I know that Mr. Basley will let us know. Does any of our other board members, would anyone else like to say anything regarding our budget or have any questions for Mr. Austin?
I just want to say thank you to Mr. Austin. I'm just glad that we have no reduction. The teacher days are great, and I'm excited that no millage rate. And we haven't had a millage rate increase since I think it was 2012. So I'm just proud of our budget. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So we will wait for a few moments to see if we have anyone call in or anyone write in. If we have any of our stakeholders in the community that have any questions about our budget, we'll wait a few moments for that, and then we'll get ready to move on. It looks like we're going to have a fund balance and it's always good to keep those operating funds, a fund balance. Just so you don't spend every single penny that you have. You always need to keep a fund balance, and the suggested rate is 12 to 18%. And Mr. Austin, do you want to speak to that for just a moment, please?
Yeah. So the fund balance is designed to show one or two things. One, that we're being fiscally responsible, and that we actually have rainy day funds, if you will, to protect us in a time like this. And the second thing, it shows as well that 15% is the state limit. Once we get over 15%, then we have to reallocate some of that to the actual budget. So right now we're about 13%, so we're still on track. So once we hit that mark, we will look at things differently. But so far, so good.
Looks like we've had a caller to join us. Is this a stakeholder? Do you have a question?
It's Mr. Dixon.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Dixon.
Hey, Chairman Rainey.
Yes. So we've started our meeting, and Mr. Austin has gone over our budget, and Ms. Blackshear has spoken and talked about, just how thankful she is and how thankful we are. Speaking, I believe she speaks on behalf of the board when she says that we're just very thankful and we're very proud that we've not had a millage rate increase since 2012, and that we are able to operate under the even with a 17% cut from the state, we're still able to operate as needed. So that's where we are. Mr. Austin has gone over. Mr. Basley has put up our number. If anyone needs, any of our stakeholders want to call in and have any questions. Mr. Harris, do you have anything you'd like to say or ask about our budget?
Thank you for the opportunity, Madam Chair. I find everything okay.
Thank you for that. So I think we should wait until at least 6:15. And I think at 6:15, if we don't have any other people calling, if we don't have any messages or anything, then we could probably close this portion of the meeting and then get ready for the called meeting to come next. So silence, I think, means that we don't have anyone else calling. Just to make sure with our other board members and Mr. Dixon, will you be okay? Will it be okay for us to move on into the called portion of the meeting? That is the action portion.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, I said we'd wait till 6:15, so we'll wait until then. We're going to wait till 6:15, like I said, and then we'll, if everyone else is okay, we'll just move on into the other portion. Okay, and we have started this. We started this process. We started talking. We really, as soon as we vote in one budget, we go ahead and start talking about the next budget. It's really a good idea to go ahead and try to work a year in advance. So we've been working on this. I remember since we've been talking about it, at least since February, we've been ironing out a lot of things. So unless we have anyone who has called in, then I suggest that we close this portion of the meeting and go ahead and get ready for the call board meeting. So does anyone have any objection to that? Okay, well, with no objection, then the budget hearing is now closed. And at this time, I'm calling to order our called session board meeting for August the 27th, 2020. And this is our the called session board meeting for the purpose of our 2020 to 2021 budget. So if you will please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you for that. So the agenda for this evening that we have is we have one item on our agenda, and that is the request for approval of our budget. Is there a motion to approve our agenda for this evening?
I move that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Blackshear. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Okay. The motion's been made by Ms. Blackshear and seconded by Mr. Harris to approve our agenda for this evening. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye or say yes.
Aye.
Aye. And Ms. Blackshear said aye. Thank you for that. Okay. So our agenda has been approved. Ms. Blackshear, will you give us our ethics statement, please?
In accordance with regulations set forth by the Georgia Ethics Commission, it is the duty of every board member to avoid both conflict of interest and interest of such conflict. Does any board member have any non-conflict of interest? Seeing none, Madam Chair, we'll proceed with our agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Blackshear, for that. So we have one item on our business agenda, and that is the next item on our agenda, and that is the action item for the approval of our FY 2020 to 21 budget. And Mr. Dixon, would you like to say, just reiterate your recommendation for that, please?
Madam Chair, it is my recommendation after the hard work of the staff and administration and Mr. Austin that we have thoroughly gone through and evaluated and come up with a great budget for this year with no millage increase, with a balanced budget, as well as a regular calendar for our students and our staff, that I recommend that we approve the proposed 2020-2021 budget, FY budget.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. And with that being said, you've heard Mr. Austin's presentation. We've had our discussions. You've heard our superintendent's recommendation. Is there a motion to approve the 2020-2021 budget?
Move that motion.
I second the motion.
Okay, the motion has been made by Ms. Blackshear and seconded by Mr. Harris to approve the budget for FY fiscal year 2021. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, please say yes.
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 And I say yes. And with our members present, that motion carries unanimously. So the 2021 budget has been passed. Thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for our board who worked at this and thought about this, and we hashed things out. Thank you, Mr. Dixon, for the hard work. Thank you, Mr. Offset, and all the staff members for the work that they did on our budget. Thank you for that. And that was the only thing on our agenda this evening. So at this time, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair, I move that motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Harris. The motion's been made by Mr. Harris, and thank you, Ms. Blackshear, seconded by Ms. Blackshear to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I see Ms. Blackshear's aye. And I say aye, so this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.